You don't seem to realize what business you're in. You're not in the burger business. You're in the real estate business.
One of my favorite scenes of all time. But anyway, what's up, y'all? I'm Tim Leak, and welcome back to my channel where we talk about real estate investing, entrepreneurship, and finance. And in this video, we're going to be talking about the business of real estate and exactly just how this business can make you financially free, rich, and wealthy. Because guess what? There's some people out there that actually believe that you can't get rich as a small investor investing in residential real estate. They feel like if you have multiple rentals and you're only making a couple $100s for each rental, that's not worth it and you can never get rich. Now, this couldn't be further from the truth. Now, obviously, there's a big difference from investing in commercial real estate than it is investing in residential real estate. But if you look at the formula that businesses like McDonald's use or even Chick-fil-A, you can apply that same strategy as a small-time residential real estate investor and have a lot of success. And I'm about to show y'all just how to do it, all right? Now, let's get to it. Alright, now first off, when you say words like rich or wealthy, those words are completely subjective. There's no specific dollar amount that qualifies you as rich or wealthy. What's rich to me might not be rich to somebody else. For example, just recently Grant Cardone said that he'd be embarrassed if he made $400,000 a year, and that $35,000 a month couldn't do nothing for him.
If I made 400 grand a year, I would be embarrassed with myself as a husband, a father, basically as a human being. 400 grand. How do you make sense of $35,000 a month?
Now, $400,000 a year will put you in the top of 1.8% of America's top income earners. And I'm pretty sure that there are people out there that would consider that rich. But for the sake of argument, let's just say that rich is being a millionaire or having a $1 million net worth. We'll keep it at a nice round $1 million. So how do you become a millionaire with real estate? Well, it's important to know this. Unless you work an extremely high-paying job, which 99% of the world doesn't, or if you happen to hit the lottery or left some type of inheritance, then it's really only one way to become a millionaire, and that's by investing. Now, there's a few things that the average person can invest in that can give you that millionaire status. For one, stocks. Now, I don't really care too much for stocks, but stocks is the absolute easiest way to become a millionaire. Every time you get your paycheck, make sure you invest a few $100s into your investment or retirement account, and after about 30 or 40 years or so, thanks to compound interest, congratulations, you're now a millionaire. Now, this is the easiest way to become a millionaire because you really don't have to do anything except consistently invest, but it also takes the longest. Who really wants to wait 30 plus years to finally become a millionaire? Which brings us to the quickest way to become a millionaire, which is investing in a business. Now, investing in a business is by far the absolute fastest way anyone can become a millionaire. You can literally become a millionaire overnight, but the problem is, it's also the riskiest. The truth of the matter is, most businesses flat out fail, with 65% shutting down within the first 10 years. And this makes most people scared to start a business because of the high failure rate. So this leads us to the best way to become a millionaire. Now, investing in real estate is by far the absolute best way to become a millionaire or have $1 million net worth. It's a reason why 90% of all millionaires became so through real estate, because it's literally the best of both worlds. When you buy real estate, just like a stock, you're buying an appreciating asset where the value will continue to grow over time. And as an investor, when you purchase real estate, you're actually running a business which generates cash flow. So investing in real estate is literally investing in both stocks and business combined. And just like any other investment, there's always a certain amount of risk that you assume when investing in real estate. But the way that you mitigate those risks is by gaining as much knowledge as you can in the type of investing that you're involved in, and by looking at other successful real estate investment companies and mimicking certain approaches and strategies that they use with your investment business. Let's take the investment strategy of McDonald's, for example.
You don't build an empire off a 1.4% cut of a 15-cent hamburger. You build it by owning the land upon which that burger is cooked. What you ought to be doing is buying up plots of land, then turning around and leasing said plots to franchisees who, as a condition of their deal, should be permitted to lease from you and you alone. This will provide you with two things. One, a steady upfront revenue stream. Money flows in before the first stake is in the ground. Two, greater capital for expansion, which in turn fuels further land acquisition, which in turn fuels further expansion, and so on and so on.
Now this scene is just genius to me because it was like a light went off in Ray Kroc's head because he realized that he'd been doing things wrong all this time. And this is something that happens to a lot of people when they first become interested in investing in real estate. They get some knowledge, then they realize that they've been wasting their money and wasting their time. I remember when I had this moment while watching videos on YouTube, learning so much and realized I've wasted so much money over the years on liabilities and should have been started investing. But with Ray Kroc, he realized that he'd been running McDonald's wrong all along. You see, he would let the franchisees buy a building at a location, he would train them and provide them with the McDonald's system and recipes, and they would get to use the McDonald's name. And in return, he would get a small percentage of the revenue. I think they said 1.4% of a 15-cent burger. Now in the short term, this may sound okay because you don't have any upfront costs. It's no money out of your pocket because the franchisee is taking out the loan for the building, and you're just collecting your cut out of the revenue. But in the long term, that 1.4% cut is nothing. It wasn't building your credit with the banks or building your assets. You see, with this approach, his position can be compared to that of a property manager of an investment property. He was only receiving a small percentage of the revenue made, which is like a property manager receiving a small percentage from the rent payment. Instead, he realized that he should be buying the land that the building sat on, have the building built, and lease it out to the franchisees. In that way, he would be receiving steady monthly cash flow that won't be fluctuating up and down based on the revenue, and also reaping the benefit of appreciation of the land. And the appreciation would then allow him to leverage that equity and buy even more land for McDonald's properties to be built and leased on, which would provide even more cash flow, and then more appreciation, which leads to more properties, and you just keep doing it over and over again. And next thing you know, you have a real estate empire. And this exact same thing can be done with smaller investors in residential real estate. Let's compare.
What you ought to be doing is buying up plots of land, then turning around and leasing said plots to franchisees.
So in other words, you, the investor, should purchase houses in good locations that cash flow and lease the properties out to tenants, preferably high quality Section 8 tenants.
Fail to uphold quality standards, you cancel their lease.
Fail to keep my property in great condition or break the terms of the lease agreement, and you're gone.
This will provide you with two things. One, a steady upfront revenue stream.
You'll receive steady cash flow from your rent payment paid by the tenant or the housing authority.
Two, greater capital for expansion, which in turn fuels further land acquisition, which in turn fuels further expansion, and so on and so on.
Thanks to appreciation, after some time, you'll be able to leverage the equity in that property and use it to purchase another property. Using certain strategies like the BRRRR strategy, when you buy, renovate, rent it out, refinance, and repeat, you'll be able to repeat this process over and over and over again, building a small real estate empire.
End result, you'll have the banks and the franchisees in the palm of your hand.
When banks see that you have assets with enough equity, then 10 times out of 10, they'll be willing to do business with you. They'll let you leverage that equity and loan you even more money to buy even more assets that produce even more money. This is how you build financial freedom, and this is how you build wealth. Not with your money, but the bank's money. Yeah, your properties may have mortgages on them that you have to pay every month, but if they're cash flowing pretty well, that buys you your freedom. And they're also consistently appreciating, while the tenants are paying down the mortgage, which increases your net worth and gives you the opportunity to leverage the equity to purchase even more income generating properties. It's a beautiful thing. And it's a part early in the movie when Ray Kroc was trying to get a business loan to expand McDonald's while he was running the business with the old system, but they didn't want to hear it.
It's your business, correct? You own it.
I'm the head of franchising. I'm the one behind this growth.
Well, that's all well and good, but you need assets.
Assets is the name of the game, and it all starts with your first asset. All it takes is one house. As long as you find a good deal, that's extremely important. Whether you buy it as a primary resident or an investment property, as long as you don't overpay for it and your monthly mortgage isn't sky high to where you can barely afford it. You don't want your first house to be your dream house that spreads you too thin. Always look at it as a future investment property. And I prefer to buy fixer-uppers since they're cheaper and I can fix them up and watch the appreciation get higher and higher a lot faster. My very first fixer-upper property paid for my second fixer-upper property, which then paid for my third fixer-upper property. So my real estate business is growing off of that first property. And obviously you won't be able to expand as fast as these big businesses like McDonald's or Chick-fil-A, but depending on your salary and how much money you can save and invest, it's quite possible to grow your rental business pretty fast, reaching the net worth of $1 million within a 5 to 8 year time frame. I've seen it happen.
Land. That's where the money is.
And that's where the money always is gonna be, especially in the right locations. If you can find a way to purchase a piece of prime real estate and it can produce monthly income, then that's definitely a good situation to be in. At the end of the day, investing is investing, whether it's residential or commercial. The goal is to buy property that appreciates or cash flows. And if you can find both, then that's a win-win situation. And that's what I try to teach in the Section 8 niche, how to find properties that do both and how to run your business to be successful. But no matter what type of real estate investing you're interested in, make sure you research and gain knowledge, because like I said, there's a certain amount of risk when it comes to investing. And most people who are against real estate investing most likely had a bad experience because they did something that they shouldn't have done or didn't do something that they should have done. And now they're just all around against it. But based off of my experiences, if you've done your research, for the most part know what you're doing and you're prepared, then real estate can completely change your life. I know it's done that for mine. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is my second video with Michael Keaton in the thumbnail within a few weeks. He's always in these good real estate movies where we can learn a lot from. But thank y'all for y'all support. And as always, I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video.